Hey people, Cal Christensen here with the motivational stuff, and I'd like to talk about tonight some of the hardships that are faced after an accident that are like different for each individual, on top of each accident being different for each individual, and each injury affecting each individual differently, because no two TBIs are alike and no two spinal cord injuries are alike. And I mean, no two people are going to react to the two alike, and no two people are going to react to the exact same injury alike either. I mean, you can have a brain injury on the frontal lobe, and another person can have a brain injury on the frontal lobe, and it's gonna completely affect them completely differently. I mean, but it's part of life. But what I was talking about happens to be where I was going with that. Happens to be there's also personal things there that each person has their own personal backstory and their own personal hardships that went with the accident, and that they fought and have had to fight after the accident. And everyone's battle's different. Everyone's for certain have had to fight a battle, but everyone's battle's different. For example, my battle, one of my hardest battles was all the times where I was not going anywhere and where I was not going anywhere. What I mean by that was when I was drinking lots and skipping class and not being a studious, productive part of really society, and wasn't doing good. Really needed to be going to class and not skipping class and not drinking the way I was. And I still got a good education with all the colleges I was at, even graduating from one of them, and that was a community college. That wasn't one of the universities I was at, but still got pretty good education with all the different colleges was at from the classes they go to and things like that. But anyway, with that being said, there's a lot of regrets. I look back, and Manhattan was a huge regret. There was, looking back in the rear view, there were some pretty cool people there that were there that would have been good to have whatever. But I was not at the time in a place that, one, be there, for two, I was not in a middle spot personally to be, because size and things like that were affecting my mental state. And that's why I like to be under a certain size as well, and that has a direct impact on my mental state. And that whole time there, I was really, semester one started out, it was, I was going to class, I'd skip some, but primarily was going more than whatever. But semester two really got dark, and really but anyway, that's some of that. And then my accident happened shortly after turning 24, and I was a private pilot. I earned my private pilot's license May 25th of 2015. I started flying when I was 14, but took my first discovery flight at 14 and was flying all by myself and soloed at 16, and took a break from flying for a while because of personal things coming up, and then went back and knocked out my private, and knocked out my private, and was working on getting commercial login flight time to be able to qualify for commercial, but my accident happened, and I was working on instrument rating at the time, as well as that was a year after my most successful year team repping and rodeo, and as a hobby, that was I was team repping and rodeo, and as a hobby was competitive at, and was roping tough at, but it was a hobby, and it was gonna stay a competitive hobby. The career goal was airline pilot, and after that went straight to motivational speaking. Really, the only thing kicked around was writing, which I'm doing now with the motivational speaking as well, or with the motivational stuff, not speaking, but with the motivational stuff, as well as did a speech, but as well as getting into motivational speaking as well. But with that being said, I believe it's, everyone has their own story. That's the general consensus of what's around the accident, if you will, the time frame of the accident, and some of the injuries that go with, and things like that. And it's really one of those things that things can be hard, but don't let the negativity drag you down, and don't let the negativity of others drag you down, and don't let anyone who's not able to see outside the box or outside the lines dim your happiness. Keep pushing. All right, thank people.